Hello, so in this video, I would like to deliver the topic from the material in psycholinguistic course. It is a wild and isolated children and the critical age issue for language learning. So for the first, what is a wild child or feral child? It is a child who has lived without a human contact from a very young age, and there are no experience of human care and also love and also social behavior of human language. So from the several accounts or several sources, they talk about the children who rise by wild animals or found living in the woods. But there are also some cases which the children may have human contact but were so deprived of interaction that they didn't become socialized and also didn't learn language and have trouble with the basic skills. So I will show you the examples case of wild and isolated children and the critical age issues in language learning. I found it from the article that say the Julia Fulteran. She is a photographer. She took the picture of children that living in the wild or even living with the animal wild in the woods. So I will show you the picture or the illustrated picture from the photographer Julia Fulteran. Two example cases. The first from Oksana Malaya, and the second one is Sujit Kumar from Fiji. Well, for the first example case is from Oksana Malaya. She's from Ukraine, 1991. So Oksana was found living with dogs in a kennel in 1991. She was 8 years old and had lived with the dogs for 6 years. Her parents were alcoholics, and one night they had left her outside. Looking for warmth, the 3 years old crawled into a farm kennel and curled up with the mongrel dogs, an act that probably saved her life. When discovered, she behaved more like a dog than a human child. She ran on all fours, panted with her tongue out, bared her teeth and barked. Because of her lack of human interaction, she only know the words yes and no. Intensive therapy aided Oksana to learn basic social and verbal skills, but only with the ability of a 5 years old. Now, at the 30 years old, she lives in a clinic in Odessa and works with the hospital's farms animals under the supervision of her carriers. The second one is Sujit Kumar. He's from Fiji, 1978. Suji exhibited dysfunctional behavior as a child. His parents locked him in a chicken coop. His mother committed suicide and his father was murdered. His grandfather took responsibility for him but still kept him confined in a chicken coop. He was 8 years old when he was found in the middle of the road, clucking and flapping. He pecked at his foot, crouched on a chair as if roosting, and would make rapid clicking noises with his tongue. His fingers were turned inward. He was taken to an old people's home by care workers. But there, because he was so aggressive, he was tied with bed sheets in his bed for over 20 years. Now, he is over 30 years old and is cared for by Elizabeth Clayton, who rescued him from the home. Well, there are some example cases of wild and isolated children. Actually, there are a lot of examples in the world that talking about the wild and isolated children. Well, actually, many of these children left to tend for themselves. They have had some behavior problems or psychological difficulties, oftentimes by parents who were keen on drinking. So the children turn to some other sources of positive reinforcement that happen to be animal. On the other hand, animals don't have that much parenting sense to adopt a baby from a different kind. So for the last one, I want to say don't just consider the children who come from different backgrounds. They will not be able to learn to communicate or learn about a language. So I think that's all from me, and thank you.